Namaste. In this video, we shall look at the Yoga-Chudamani Upanishad. Now, the first topic we'll be seeing, and probably the most important topic of the Yoga-Chudamani Upanishad, is the concept of Shadanga Yoga. Just like we have Ashtanga Yoga in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, the yoga with 8 limbs, the Yoga-Chudamani Upanishad speaks about Shadanga Yoga, Shat Anga Yoga, which has 6 limbs. The 6 limbs are, there's nothing different about it. They just remove Yama and Niyama. So the 6 limbs are Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. The Upanishad mentions Siddhasana and Kamalasana under asanas. When we look at the first limb of yoga, which is asana, there are 2 asanas which are mentioned, which are Siddhasana and Kamalasana. Kamalasana is the same as Padmasana. Kamala, Padma, Pankaja, Rajiva, they all mean lotus. Sanskrit has a plethora of words to refer to the lotus. So Kamalasana is Padmasana as the asanas. So there are 2 asanas which are mentioned. It states that there are 72,000 nadis which originate from the region above the genitals and below the navel called the Kanda. And out of these 72,000, 72 are considered to be important, and out of these 72 again, 10 are noteworthy. So the Upanishad lists down the 10 main nadis, and they are first obviously Ida, Pingala, Sushumna. Ida for the left side, Pingala for the right side, Sushumna in the middle. Next it says Gandhari, which resides in the left eye, Hasti Jihva, which is in the right eye, Pusha, which is in the right ear, Yashaswini in the left ear, Alambusa in the mouth, Puhu in the genitals, and Shankhini in the anus. So these are the 10 main nadis according to Yoga-Chudamani Upanishad. I'm stressing that because when we come to another Upanishad called the Trishikhi Brahmana Upanishad, we'll be seeing that in another video. There again, they mention a list of the 10 main nadis, and there is some slight difference. We'll be seeing it there. So just remember that according to the Yoga-Chudamani Upanishad, these are the 10 main nadis. This is not the widely accepted or universally accepted list. According to the Yoga-Chudamani Upanishad, these are the 10 main nadis. It's important to know where each nadi resides because you could expect questions on this. Next, we look at the divisions of prana. The Upanishad mentions the Pancha Pranas and the Pancha Upapranas. Now, the Pancha Pranas are Prana, which resides in the heart, Apana, which resides in the anus, Udana, which resides in the throat, Samana in the navel, and Vyana in the entire body. Now, again, what I would suggest is when it comes to the location of these pranas and the functions of the Upapranas, it is always important to know which Upanishad speaks of this. Because, for example, that same Upanishad which I had mentioned, the Trishikhi Brahmana Upanishad, when we come to that, when we look at that, we'll see that they do not say the prana resides in the heart, and they do not say Udana resides in the throat. They have different locations are mentioned there. So it's better to remember that it is this Upanishad which speaks of it. It is in the Yoga-Chudamani Upanishad that we find that prana resides in the heart. Don't think of that as the fact, that all Upanishads speak of in one voice. That is not the case. Some Upanishads speak of it differently. So know all this with reference to which Upanishad it features in. So prana in the heart, apana in the anus, udana in the throat, samana in the navel, and vyana, which is found throughout the body. These are the pancha pranas. The pancha upapranas are naga, which is responsible for belching, which is burping. Kurma, which is responsible for opening the eyelids, Krikara, which is responsible for sneezing, Devadatta for yawning and sleep, and Dhananjaya is said to be the Upaprana which does not leave the body even after death. The bloating which happens to the body after death is attributed to Dhananjaya. So these are the pranas and upapranas. So next we come to the practice of pranayama. The second limb of Shadanga Yoga is pranayama. So we come to the practice. So the practice mentioned is that the person has to sit in Baddha Padmasana, that is the asana prescribed for pranayama, and the yogi must inhale through the Ida, the left nostril, perform Kumbhaka, retention, and exhale through the Pingala, which is the right nostril. In the inferior type of pranayama practice, the duration of Puraka, which is inhalation, should be 12 matras, Kumbhaka should be 16 matras, and Rechaka should be 10 matras. Exhalation should be 10. So it should be 12, 16, and 10. 12 inhalation, 16 retention, and 10 exhalation. Now, this they say is the inferior type of pranayama. The Upanishad says that in the middle type, this duration is doubled. So 12 becomes 24, 16 becomes 32, and 10 becomes 20. And in the superior type, the best type of pranayama, the highest type, it is tripled. So 12 becomes 24, 48, or 36 perhaps, and so forth. The Upanishad also prescribes Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, which is to inhale through Ida and exhale through Pingala. Then inhale through Pingala and exhale through Ida without Kumbhaka to purify the nadis and for gaining control over Kumbhaka. It says that through the practice of Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama, one would be able to perform longer Kumbhakas, retain breath for a longer period of time. Now, the sequence of the 6 limbs of yoga, Shadanga Yoga, are that 12 pranayamas constitute 1 pratyahara, 12 pratyaharas constitute 1 dharana, 12 dharanas constitute 1 dhyana, and 12 dhyanas lead to samadhi. Now, what I think this means is that each limb leads to the next one, that they are all connected, and only by mastering the preceding limb, one can embark upon the practice of the succeeding limb, meaning only after mastering pranayama, one can move to the practice of pratyahara. I think that is what this sequence means. The Upanishad also talks about mitahara, the 3 bandhas, Jalandhara, Uddiyana, and Mula bandha, the 3 mudras, which are Khechari, Yoni, and Mahamudra, and Pranava Japa for awakening the Kundalini Shakti. Shanmukhi Mudra is prescribed for attaining Nada Siddhi, which is Nadanusandhana. Shanmukhi Mudra, we'll find it mentioned in many Yoga Upanishads as a practice of Pratyahara, as something which would aid in Pratyahara. Because in Shanmukhi Mudra, we cover all the sense organs on the face. We cover the ears with the thumb, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, everything. And therefore, it symbolizes turning inwards. It symbolizes stopping interactions with the outer world and turning inwards. Avritta Chakshu, as the Kathopanishad says it, to turn the eyes behind and to see inside. So that is Pratyahara. So Shanmukhi Mudra is usually prescribed as a practice for Pratyahara. And this is the sequence of the 6 limbs of yoga. Now, lastly, we'll be looking at the results of the Shadanga Yoga. What are the results of each practice? The practice of asana kills diseases. The pranayama leads to the destruction of sins. Pratyahara results in giving up of mental modifications, because basically means that you will not have, once you start restraining the mind from engaging with the sense objects, the modifications of the mind would reduce because desires would reduce. So that is what it means. Dharana and dhyana grants one mental fortitude and willpower. And samadhi is the state of marvelous consciousness where one attains liberation and becomes free of merits and demerits, which are papa and punya. The state of realization. So that is the result of samadhi. Now, so with that, we finish a brief survey of the Yoga-Chudamani Upanishad. Thank you.